Hey guys, my name is Jasmine and today we're going to be making art. I'm going to tell you guys what you need before we really jump into this. You need a piece of paper, at least one piece of paper, crayons, colored pencils, a Sharpie, and a drawing pencil, which is also a graphite pencil. You do not need an eraser, so if you have an eraser, don't use it, set it to the side, don't look at it, don't think about it. Because the art that we're going to be making, it's going to kind of make you probably think about what you're making. That's not what you want. We want to kind of be a little bit uncomfortable. It's going to feel a little bit weird because we're going to be drawing with our opposite hand. So if you're left-handed, you're going to be drawing with your right hand, which is what I'm going to be doing. Excuse me, oh my goodness. But if you're right-handed, you're going to be using your left hand when we're starting this. So you can use whatever utensil you want. We're going to also be talking about automatism and intention throughout this, which I will jump into in a little bit. So grab whatever utensil you want to use. I have crayons, and I'm going to use those first. You can also use Sharpie first, drawing pencil, or colored pencils first, whatever you want to jump into. And I'm not going to really think about what color I'm using. I'm just going to pick a random color. If you want to pick your color, that's fine, but it kind of makes it a little bit more thought out, which is not what we really want. I grabbed a white crayon, which is not going to help you right now because my paper is white. Now I have a green. So, like I said before, you're going to be drawing with your opposite hand. So I'm usually left-handed, but I'm going to be drawing with my right hand. And I'm not going to think about what I'm drawing. I could probably look at something in my background here that might influence what I'm drawing. You can do that if you want, or you can just not really think and just let your hand do whatever. So I see a plant that I'm going to kind of think about. It's kind of pointy. It's green, which is funny because I also picked the color green. And I'm not thinking about where my crayon's going. I'm just kind of letting it do its own thing. I'm also trying to fill up my entire paper. And once again, I'm not looking at my paper. But I am thinking about this plant and its properties. It's also very organic. It's sharp, but also organic. So here's what I have. These are my scribbles. So I'm gonna jump into another medium here, which if you want to keep using the same crayon or same color pencil, whatever you have, you can do that. But things might get a little bit muddled. So again, I picked a random color. I have blue, and I'm gonna look at what I have. So you can kind of see where I was talking about. I have pointy kind of shapes, but it's also very curved. So I'm gonna go back into this, and I have my colored pencil here. I'm gonna use my dominant hand, which is my writing hand. I'm gonna use my left hand. And thinking about automatism, which is sort of what we just did without looking at it. But automatism is something that your brain kind of automatically does. You don't really think about it too hard. It's something that is habitual. So I'm going to do that with my writing hand here. I'm not going to think about what I'm really doing. I'm just going to let it kind of happen. So, and doing it kind of fast might also kind of help that, because you're kind of letting your brain take over. This is what your brain would probably do on its own if you weren't really thinking about it, which is all about what automatism is. And I'm gonna switch colors because that's what I feel like I should do. And I'm gonna keep going. I'm not really thinking about what I'm doing. The main thing I'm thinking about right now is sort of adding colors and what can I do with those colors. Not really having a plan.
Keep going. I'll be right back.
Okay. And I also have intention. That is my intention of having just color all around here and what I can do with them. So my intention kind of connected with my automatism. They work together, and so that I can make this piece. So I'm gonna go back to my crayons. I'm not gonna think about what color I'm using. Purple. And I'm not gonna look at my paper. I'm gonna go back to my non-dominant hand, which is my right hand here. So I'm gonna think about what I'm kind of saying and think about those properties. See a chair. So once again, I'm also gonna try and fill up my entire paper. I'm not trying to stay in one area of my paper. I'm gonna fill up my entire paper. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna think about this chair I see. I'm not really trying to recreate the chair. If you want to recreate the chair while you're drawing blindly when you're not looking at the paper, you can do that. That could also be lots of fun. I'm thinking about kind of how flat the chair is, kind of like two pieces. And thinking about squares and rectangles and line. So again, I'm not looking at my paper. I wanted to make sure I don't leave my paper though. Make sure you're staying on your paper as best you can if you're drawing all over your paper like I am. I'm kind of feeling for the edge of the paper so I don't pass that. And there is that. You kind of see where I was thinking about the chair, because the chair is made up of different parts, like kind of this, different plates, if you would. So once again, just like with our blue and orange here, I'm gonna go back to my colored pencils and I'm gonna look at my paper and I'm going to kind of draw what I feel. What automatically comes to mind, what comes to mind first. Not thinking too hard about it, just kind of going off of automatism and letting my brain kind of take over, not thinking too hard or too in-depth about what I want to do. And thinking of my main intention, which is what I want to do, what my goal is. Thinking of my main intention as to just making art. And letting my brain do that for me. Obviously, I'm seeing just a lot of kind of dots with my red. This reminds me of the toy that has different kind of wires that are kind of going everywhere and that you can move the shapes across. That's what this is reminding me of. Which is kind of fun. So I'm going to switch colors. And again, I'm not going to think about what color I'm using, but I also don't think I want to use the same colors that I've already used. Grab pink. I have not used pink in here. So I'm going to do something a little bit different than what we have already done. If you want to do this, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. You can keep using your dominant hand, but I'm going to switch to my non-dominant hand again. But this time, instead of looking away and drawing, I'm going to look at my paper. And I'm going to just let my hand do whatever it wants. I do think that my pink is sort of blending into everything. Can't really see it too well over the blue and the purple and green. Kind of see it over the orange. Kind of do encourage you to do this as well. I know I said before you don't have to if you don't want to, but I do encourage you and kind of see how your non-dominant hand moves and makes marks in relation to the paper versus your dominant hand. It might seem a little bit weird, but you can still see how it makes marks, how your hand moves versus, how it might normally move, which might seem sort of like a smooth kind of motion versus a more choppy one, because it doesn't feel so natural because you're not used to it. But it's still a lot of fun. You can have a lot of fun with it. I'm going to switch lastly to my Sharpie here. I'm going to use my dominant hand. I'm going to look away and I'm going to make marks. Kind of based on what I see. I'm kind of letting those marks be influenced by what I see, but I'm not trying to draw what I see. And this is also something that you can always come back to. So here is my artwork. This is something that we made based in automatism and intention that is fully focused on just making art. And if you're also feeling kind of weird about it, you can also turn it different ways and see how it might look different ways. You can tear this and glue it back together and think about how it might look different. You might like it more. You can sort of collage this onto other pieces of paper and other artworks, and that can also be different. This is all about being comfortable in your art making, no matter what it is, no matter how you made it. And I hope you guys had fun. I hope you guys do more of this and make more based on automatism, which is art making based on just letting your body do its own thing. You're not really thinking about what you're doing. And I hope you guys do just that and make more. This is really fun. I'm gonna go do more. And I hope you guys do just that. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.